I believe over the next 5 to 10 years, this will become now the new standard in the industry. So, for those of us in the field of regenerative medicine who are beginning to think about how this applies to the broad category of longevity and preservation of performance, actually are excited about another angle to all of this, which is using these same tools to enhance aesthetics, particularly enhancing youthful aesthetics. There's no doubt in my mind that there is a tremendous benefit to those of us who are looking at optimizing our health, maximizing our ability to perform in our communities, in society, that maintaining the optimum aesthetic characteristics that make you is something we all seek to achieve, and that's the basis for one of the largest industries in the world around the cosmetic, cosmeceutical, and aesthetics industries. I can tell you that for decades now, doctors and other specialists in the field have been looking to employ the most sophisticated technologies, whether they be related to improving the quality of skin, to improving the quality of hair, nails, and so on. All of these tools are evolving to begin to utilize some of the same biological technologies that are recovered in the field of regenerative medicine. In fact, some of the most exciting opportunities may in fact exist in using stem cell or stem cell derivatives and or advanced biomaterials to enhance the quality, the texture, the integrity of skin in the face and other parts of the body. And we have been really excited about the gaining interest at the level of the leading companies in the field at beginning to employ these tools and these technologies in consumer products. Now, there's no doubt that the specialties of plastic surgery, dermatology, cosmetic surgery have already paid a great deal of attention to where these new breakthroughs may in fact impact these practitioners' patient care regimes and options. But for us, we recognize that there's an entire spectrum of applying these new breakthroughs to enhance everything from resistance to age-related changes to skin, like wrinkles, pigmentation changes, as well as improving the overall nature of the skin in terms of its texture, its hydration, its resistance to damage from sun and other agents. And I can tell you that I believe over the next 5 to 10 years, this will become now the new standard in the industry. We're very excited about the fact that our plastic surgery colleagues for many years have recognized that there might in fact be some clear benefits to using the cellular elements that reside in our bodies, namely the stem cell populations that we can find, for example, in our fat tissue below the skin, even in some other areas of the body, to restore function in the skin of the face, the hands, the torso. And some of these applications will include directly delivering cells or their byproducts into the skin, and some will actually encompass a more systemic approach where you're administering cells, exosomes, and other biological materials through either intravenous routes or injecting in discrete areas, discrete locations of the body. So when I think about where regenerative medicine can make some immediate, significant impacts, aesthetics fall into that priority list. And if you incorporate that in an overall health and wellness strategy that takes into account objectives of maintaining your muscle mass, maintaining the quality of your muscle tissue, maintaining the quality of your metabolic system, all of this winds up being part of an overall health and wellness strategy. So I first became really interested in what some of the regenerative products that can be derived from the leftovers of a full-term healthy pregnancy might do for treating some serious injuries that have a long-term impact on overall aesthetics. And so the obvious thing I'm talking about is burns. So we all know that skin is subject to thermal injury, whether the injury is from intense sunlight, whether it's from direct exposure to burning materials, or whether it's just over time chronic exposure to temperatures that are above normal. All of these things damage the outer surface of the skin, the most superficial layers. And as you know, burns are graded based upon their severity and the depth to which they affect the skin, from first-degree burns, second-degree burns, to third-degree burns. The ones we're talking about having the biggest impact in the immediate term would be first and second-degree burns, where reestablishing continuity of that outer layer of skin has long-term benefits. First, it's a defense against infectious complications, because that barrier function that's lost in burnt skin can be replaced by some of these regenerative technologies. Also, encouraging functional recovery of skin is also supported and facilitated and enhanced when you can provide a biological barrier to the things that skin is designed to protect you from. And one of the great advances made in some of the technologies I've been involved in has been the use of the placental biological membranous materials, all derived from that amniotic sac tissue, as in essence, a prosthetic form of skin that can be used to cover burns and support the repair and recovery that occurs after serious burns. You know, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that when your skin is damaged, you want to protect it. You want to protect it because you know that skin is really, really good at repairing itself. But depending upon the extent of the injury, the size of the injury, the time it takes to get a full functional repair and recovery of that skin is something that increases. That time required increases as a function of our age, our health, our nutrition, etc. So let's look at the kind of conventional scenario where someone has a first to second degree burn of the skin. You all know that the skin responds to that kind of injury. The damage initiates an inflammatory response, and you get swelling, you get the formation of a blister, and then the superficial tissue over the blister eventually sloughs off, leaving behind a kind of an exposed subepidermal layer that, if not properly protected, will actually repair in a dysfunctional way. You'll get hyperpigmentation, where the coloration of the skin changes. You'll get some decrease in the elasticity or the pliability of the skin. All of that can in fact be prevented if you use a regenerative biologic material to provide a temporary biologic covering that supports the normal functional repair. And so if you think about this, if burns are the model for using these regenerative technologies to protect and allow for functional repair, think about applying this to not spontaneous injuries like the burns I mentioned before, but think about incorporating it as an adjunct to things where you're specifically damaging skin in order to encourage repair. Things like dermabrasion, things like microneedling, where you're subjecting the tissue to a controllable amount of injury in order to stimulate a specific amount of repair. Now, if you do that and you accompany it with some of these regenerative biological products that provide a really ideal template for repair, the results can be dramatically better than just spontaneous recovery. And these are the things which are exciting us, exciting the practitioners who deal with these patients, and exciting the consumer, because they see it as a way to enhance all of their aesthetic strategies. So I'm particularly encouraged by the fact that some of the greatest companies in aesthetics, the companies that are brand names we all recognize, are paying attention to what they can offer their consumers in the future. And there's no doubt you'll often see that in very conventional products, skin products, moisturizers, products that are used to enhance the quality of skin will often now include ingredients. Sometimes you'll see the word stem cell or the words stem cell on an ingredient list. And what those companies are doing is they're beginning to recognize that if you incorporate these natural biological products into these consumer facing products, they can actually enhance the activity, the efficacy, and the outcome of using those products in improving the quality of your skin, improving the tone, the texture, the resistance to injury and illness, and so on. So there's no doubt that if you go to the conventional, the typical consumer environment for cosmetics and for skin products, you will see that there is a growing number that do incorporate what really sound like the first steps in applying regenerative medical technologies into aesthetics and cosmetics. And many of you, particularly those of you who pay attention to what's going on in the field, will see almost on a regular basis that there are breakthroughs in using regenerative medicine tools in an approach to literally create engineered replacement skin. Many of us have seen the videos and the photographs of injuries to skin in animal research or in animal models being replaced with some of these synthetic skin products. In many cases, they're created by growing living cells in a laboratory and allowing those living cells to produce the structural elements that make up skin or a skin covering. When you think about applying that to, for example, a resurfacing procedure, getting rid of acne scars, getting rid of serious defects in skin that may accompany a surgery, or the excision of, for example, a skin cancer. When you have a defect and you can then replace that defect with a biologically active regenerative product, the opportunities for better outcome are obvious. So there's no doubt that that there's lots of components of an overall strategy to improve the quality of your skin and recover from any kind of skin injuries or damage. Among those are using tools to help protect your skin, the appropriate moisturizing agents, those that incorporate or don't incorporate things like sunscreens, those that incorporate requisite nutritional products like vitamin C, collagens, etc. All of those things are available to consumers today. The future will actually begin to offer those fundamental products along with regenerative elements. So you'll be seeing, for example, moisturizers that contain extracts from stem cells, derivatives of stem cells. You're going to wind up seeing products that help protect the skin from sun damage, but also incorporate requisite nutritional products, the right vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin E, etc. And fortunately, when you begin to incorporate natural biologic materials from the regenerative medicine world, those are also delivering important factors. In some cases, those factors are additional proteins or peptides. In some cases, it's delivering certain structural things like collagens and hyaluronic acid, etc. All of these components serve to improve the overall quality and integrity of the skin.